Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Charges adding up. A Dearborn man who has acted out wildly in court is now facing federal charges. Topping our news today at 5, Hassan Shakur, who was already charged with ethnic intimidation for an incident outside a Bloomfield Hills synagogue this month.
Now investigators say he broke the law again just hours later when he lied on a form when trying to buy guns. Jason Colthorpe looking into this story for us today. Jason?
Yeah, and Kim, the scary part here is, according to investigators, Shakur was trying to buy those guns immediately after he allegedly made those threats to Jewish parents and preschoolers, and may have committed a federal crime in the process.
The new federal charges against Hassan Yahya Shakur, filed Thursday, allege he lied on a form while trying to buy a gun. According to court docs, Shakur was at Dearborn Outdoors December 2nd looking at several guns. On an ATF form, he answered no to if he was currently under indictment for a felony and no to if he'd ever been convicted of a felony. Our reporting has revealed Shakur is awaiting trial on an assault with a deadly weapon charge and was convicted in 2017 for stealing a financial transaction device. Both felonies.
The way you're judging me, God's gonna judge you the same way.
Shakur's outbursts in front of a judge have been extreme. After he screamed and gave a judge the middle finger while being arraigned.
Now he has removed his pants to show the court his backside.
He mooned a Wayne County Circuit Court judge in a subsequent appearance via Zoom on the felony assault charge. The first court appearance was for the charges of ethnic intimidation after complaints of anti-Semitic and racist threats to people and children outside of Temple Beth El in Bloomfield Hills, December 2nd. It now appears he was stopped by police shortly after his attempt to buy guns was denied.
I can't imagine what that must have been like for parents and small children of preschool age when they're just dropping their kids off to be approached by somebody with just a message of hate.
Court docs show he was trying to buy a 12-gauge shotgun, a rifle, and a Glock semi-automatic pistol. It was denied on the spot by the National Instant Criminal Background Check System. Devin?
All right, Jason. 3 men are handed lengthy prison terms for plotting to kidnap Governor Whitmer. Joe Morrison, Pete Musico, and Paul Bellar, recently convicted at the state level on charges related to terrorism, were part of the Wolverine Watchman paramilitary group. 2 other members have been convicted at the federal level in the same plot against the governor. Victor Williams live with today's sentences and also the reaction from state leaders. Victor.
Yes, Devin, it certainly seems like the world has been watching with this story making major headlines, but now we're seeing how it's playing out, at least for 3 of the defendants involved. Members of the Wolverine Watchmen, Joe Morrison, Pete Musico, and Paul Bellar, set before a judge learning their fate for their roles in the plot to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer. In the end, the trio would receive decades behind bars, with Musico being sentenced to 12 to 42 years, Morrison received 10 to 42 years, and Paul Bellar was ordered to a 7-year sentence. The news resulting in lots of tears.
I have a lapse in judgment. I've been a good citizen. I've been a family man. I've taken care of my family. The defendants were found guilty of providing material support for a terrorist act and other charges associated with the kidnapping plot that failed. But now how the tables have turned, Governor Whitmer was able to speak her mind with the pre-recorded victim impact statement.
If you want my advice about what to do with men like this, it's simple. Impose a sentence that meets the gravity of the damage they have done to our democracy.
In court, all 3 seemed remorseful.
I made mistakes. I acted recklessly and carelessly with my words. I got around the wrong people.
I would like to apologize to the governor. Again, the very stupid comments I made. I in no way meant her any harm.
But in the end, no mercy was given. Attorney General Dana Nessel explains why.
I mean, it's not just this effort to kidnap the governor, and I think we know what would come next in the event that that actually occurred. We're talking about individuals that wanted to murder law enforcement and also to kill other public officials as well.
And we're still waiting to see what will happen in the sentencing of alleged plot leader Adam Fox, as well as Barry Croft Jr., as well as other defendants that are now facing charges as well. Remember, there were 14 people arrested for this failed plot. Victor Williams, Local 4.
All right, Victor.
Detroit police are asking for the public's help in identifying a man wanted for a shooting during which he impersonated police. DPD says that this morning the man shot another man in his 50s. This was around 1:45 Wednesday afternoon near Conant and Emory on the east side. The two got into an argument on the road, and the suspect followed the victim, identified himself as a police officer, and then shot him. The shooter was dressed in all black, including a baseball cap with the word police on it, and was driving a white sedan, possibly a 2015 or 2016 Chevy Malibu. Take a look there. If you recognize him, call Detroit Police or Crime Stoppers. That number, 1-800-SPEAK-UP.
A man avoids any more jail time for a crime involving a child's stuffed animal. Kevin Van Leuven was convicted of indecent exposure back in October, stemming from the April 2021 incident inside an Oxford Township house where he had been hired to do a home inspection. Investigators say Van Leuven was caught on a nursery camera inappropriately touching himself with an Elmo doll in the home. Well, today a judge sentenced him to the 19 days of jail time already served, plus 18 months of probation.
The White House today announcing new steps to fight the winter spread of COVID, including the return of those free at-home test kits.
And this comes as cases are expected to spike, with Americans traveling, of course, and gathering indoors for the holidays. Alice Barr with the latest from Washington. Alice.
Across the country, a familiar winter pattern is settling in. COVID cases on the rise as colder weather forces people indoors. Public health officials do not expect as big a COVID surge as last winter, but cases and deaths have increased since Thanksgiving.
This is still a significant and killer illness, and we need to take it very seriously.
With hospitals already stretched thin from a tidal wave of flu and RSV, the Biden administration trying to get ahead of the worst of COVID's rising tide with a new winter preparedness plan that includes reopening covidtests.gov, where starting today, Americans can order 4 more test kits per household to be mailed to your home for free. The White House also focused on increasing vaccine booster shots, especially in nursing homes, where new data shows vaccination rates have dropped among residents and staff.
We don't want this winter to look like last winter or the winter before. And it doesn't have to.
With holiday gatherings fast approaching, doctors urging standard precautions from vaccines to masking and ventilation.
You wouldn't ever think about getting into a car without your seatbelt or leaving in the midst of a rainstorm without your umbrella. That's how we need to approach coming into this holiday season.
Though Americans are weary of playing it safe, health officials hope the prospect of waiting hours to be seen in a strained emergency room or urgent care.
Urgent care isn't urgent anymore because you either have to make an appointment or you wait forever.
Will be reason enough for people to protect themselves and those they love this holiday season. The White House is also prepared to send critical supplies and staff to states in need, and administration officials are urging Congress to pass billions of dollars more in COVID funding for next-generation vaccines and treatments. In Washington, Alice Barr, Local 4.
Hey, Alice, thank you. And here's a look at the trend in Michigan COVID-19 case numbers. In late November, there were less than 9,000 new cases. Last week, the number jumped to nearly 12,000, and this week's report showed more than 13,000 new cases. So Dr. Frank McGeorge joins us for some more perspective on the administration's COVID plans and the latest COVID numbers as well.
Biggest takeaway right now from today's announcements?
Well, so in my opinion, actually, the most important element here is ensuring that nursing homes and long-term care facilities are really maximally protected. That means vaccinations, keeping sick employees home, improving air quality, and any other infection control measures. And I'm really putting the focus there because when you look at the most recent COVID numbers for the state of Michigan, over 90% of deaths in people over age 60, and the majority of those are actually specifically in people over 80. So from the perspective of preventing deaths, protecting older people is really the highest priority. Now, of course, COVID in general is something that we want to avoid, so hopefully people are also going to take advantage of the ongoing ability of the free at-home tests and use them when they feel sick or maybe have an exposure. But big picture, though, Although COVID cases are mostly steady right now, it is really influenza that is taking off. In fact, Corewell Health today said they've had 79 inpatient flu cases in just the past week. And keep in mind, that's not just positive tests, that's people actually needing a hospital bed. And at Henry Ford Health, we have seen flu testing go from just 3% positive 3 weeks ago to now 17% positive this past week. So flu is off to an early start, and it is taking off very, very quickly.
And we'll assume you're concerned about families coming together, all of these holiday get-togethers we're going to see, right?
That's exactly it. I mean, we had Thanksgiving, of course, where a lot of people mingled, had an opportunity, and now people are going to get together again. So there's a high probability it's just going to keep spreading.
Yeah. Okay, Dr. McGeorge, thank you. Okay, so let's get a look at our first forecast here. Wow, we had the rain moving out, but we got other stuff moving in.
Colder stuff coming behind it, right, Brian?
Yeah, that's right, Devin and Kimberly. Colder changes finally heading our way. We are dry for the moment, but plenty of cloud cover on tower cam from Windsor looking across the river into downtown Detroit. Most everyone holding into the low 40s heading into the 5 o'clock hour. 42 right now here in Detroit, 41 in Howell, 40 right now working into Pontiac, dropping to 39 right now over in Adrian. We've kept the cloud cover in, but I'm keeping my eyes off to the west. A little snow activity around Grand Rapids to Mount Pleasant. We're going to have a very weak disturbance roll through this evening, and that is going to give us the chance of a light rain snow mix after 7 o'clock till almost 11 o'clock tonight. And then we keep the cloud cover in overnight tonight before more snowflakes are in the forecast over the next 2 to 3 days. I'll break down what you can expect and a polar plunge that's on the way. Your full forewarned forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Brian, we are just getting started here. Coming up, emotional testimony before Congress from some of the people most affected by the Uvalde, Texas mass shooting.
We'll have that, and here's Hank.
Coming up, a new big baby formula recall. It's just one of the stories that we're following in our Help Me Hank consumer headlines, new tonight.
The State Bureau of Elections making warnings after disruptions during those recounts happening. Proposals 2 and 3 coming up, why the Secretary of State is afraid for the safety of volunteers and how much these are costing us.